I don't know what happened. The ball got dropped. Defendant got released from the jail, which never should have happened. And now we're seeing the consequence to this lady and her family. You didn't deserve this. Yoder's might be our favorite place anywhere, and we consider it to be safe. Mistakes were made, and a lightning bolt strikes, and
Judge Middleton says it plainly in this case. This never should have happened. The defendant wasn't supposed to be free, but a neighboring county dropped the ball. I guess somebody's dog ate the detainer. So instead, the jail unleashed this ticking time bomb on the unsuspecting folks of St. Joseph County, and he responded with a random assault in a place Judge Middleton knows and loves. Watch how Judge Middleton sentences this line, and how the judge drops him squarely in Cass County's lap. Let's roll nerds.
Mr. Fletcher is in custody, has been in custody for 38 days, according to my calculation. Prosecuting Attorney Deborah Davis is present, as well as Assistant Abby Stoll. Let's start with the Fletcher case. It is set for 10:30. Mr. Fletcher was charged with aggravated assault for an incident that occurred at Yoder's on December 19th. He's been in custody, I think, since that time. Defendant is also on probation in Cass County, and I believe was headed to the probation center. Mr. George, this is a case I think we needed some help from Pivotal or other mental health services.
I think what's clear here is there is significant diagnosed mental health concerns with my client. Since he has been in custody, it's my understanding that he has been medicated, has been stabilizing. He reported to me that when he's not medicated, that he blacks out and doesn't remember periods of time. And I think that was one that was consistent here. Going forward, I think there's going to have to be a significant mental health treatment component for Mr. Fletcher. Indicates that he wants to be committed to some type of facility, so he has the ability to access those resources. I think he does have concerns that when he's not in custody, whether he can access his medications that he needs. All in all, Your Honor, obviously this is it's not a good situation. The facts are terrible. But I would just ask the court to consider some of the mental health concerns that the client has when we're making a determination on what's most appropriate.
I believe I did make a referral to Ms. Frank at the jail after this plea, but what's his status with Cass County? Is he still envisioned to be going to the probation center, or do we know what their plan for him is?
Well, I asked him what his understanding of what Cass is going to do, and I don't know that that's clear. Based on some information, and Ms. Davis, if she has more accurate information, can correct me. But I think that there was some type of issue about there was supposed to be a hold or something that was put on the place and not released. And I'm assuming at this point that hold has been corrected. So I would imagine when this sentence is over, Cass is going to deal with it.
Yeah, as I understand it, he was improperly released from the jail, went from the jail to Yoder's where this happened. I'm not sure what the status of all that is, but Ms. Davis, you got any more enlightenment for us on this?
A little bit, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I don't have a copy of his PSI from Cass County to kind of reference like what his guidelines were and what their claim.
What was the charge?
So the charges were possession of methamphetamine and malicious destruction of fire and police property and R&O, I believe. Yes. So he was sentenced to confinement for 365 days. And then a concurrent probation of 36 months. So his sentencing was in August of 25. The arrest by the Dowagiac Police Department was in February of 2025. So it appears that, from my understanding of all of these different agencies and people involved, that he completed his jail term at Cass, but was then being placed at the Twin County Probation Center. But when he got to the probation center, he said that he didn't think that this was part of the deal. He didn't want to be here, didn't want to do this. And there was some sort of commotion caused, which then caused the jail to police to come and take him to the jail. And they notified Cass County. It's my understanding that Cass County planned to come over and get him and take him back to Cass County, but there was some sort of confusion with paperwork being faxed over ahead of time, and they released him before Cass County got there to pick him up, which is what led to, yes, him walking through the village of Centerville, looking for a ride in the Dollar General and not getting one, and going into Yoder's and doing what he did. I understand that mental health obviously is an issue. However, these are things that he lied to the officer and said he tripped. And then we have very good video showing that he did not, in fact, trip. This family are extremely traumatized over this. Thankfully, there was a lot of people around. Standard by, like, went and chased him, and they had a good description of him, and he was able to be picked up. But that doesn't cure the issues here. I'm hopeful that Cass County has a straddle cell prison time waiting for him, because he's not safe to be out in the community, obviously. Whether mental health issues or drug issues or a combination thereof, we have serious concerns, and we would ask for the full year in jail for this.
You want to hold him in our jail for a year before Cass County does their potential prison commitment?
I don't necessarily want to hold him here for the year, but if he's sentenced, then I can guarantee that he's going to be either here or MDOC. I don't know what Cass County might do on the PV, but I mean,
The problem is nobody asked. I was hoping maybe somebody would have talked to Cass County and said, what's the plan here? But we don't know that. But certainly this is a scary circumstance. Hello, Deputy Studebaker. Judge Middleton calling from the bench. Does Cass County have a hold on Travis Devon Fletcher? What was the date of that? All right, thank you. Bye. He was supposed to have a detainer as of December 18th, but apparently something happened and he got rearrested. And according to Deputy Studebaker, Cass County placed a detainer on him, a probation detainer, on December 19th.
Also, there is restitution that is being requested. However, it's a significant amount of medical bills, and the victim does not have everything in order. As she had to go to the hospital, she had CT scan. Her knee is injured from it. So there's a significant amount of medical that will be coming. Obviously, we would just ask that restitution be reserved
Okay.
on that.
And your complainant wishes to speak. Would you come forward?
I never said that.
Yeah, that'd be fine. Good morning. Would you state your name for the record, please? All right. What would you like me to know?
It was Thursday afternoon, about 4:30 p.m., and my two girls and I were heading to Sturgis for my oldest tumbling practice. They talked me into stopping for donuts at Yoder's. My girls decide on a donut to share, and I grab a box to fill. I set the box down briefly and put on the provided plastic food gloves and get ready to open the first case to get their donut. As I'm putting on the glove, I'm shoved into the glass donut case and see glass shatter in front of my face. I see a man running for the door and yelling as he exits. I stand there in disbelief for a moment and see my bleeding hands cut from the glass. I quickly ask my girls if they're okay. They are silent, but manage to tell me they are physically okay. A male customer approaches me and asks if I know that guy. And I say, no, I've never seen him before in my life. This kind man then takes off running after the man who just shoved me. Another customer, a female, and two employees tend to my care. I'm in utter shock, confusion, and just running on adrenaline. I must have asked my girls if they were sure they weren't hit about 50 times. I get my hands all cleaned and bandaged up and head back out to the main bakery area to wait for anyone to arrive. At this point, I've noticed that the vest I was wearing was ripped in a couple places from the impact, and my knees are really starting to bother me. My mom arrives first, and I have a brief moment of relief and cry as I hug her. Then the police arrived and told me that the man had already been detained, thanks to the description given by the employee through dispatch and the customer who went after him. He claims he tripped, and I guess that's what he yelled as he ran away. The employee was phenomenal in making sure I'm okay and providing her witness statement and guiding officers to view the surveillance. EMTs arrived and brought me outside to check me out. We decided to go to the hospital ourselves and not take up an ambulance for someone who might really need it, as I'm able to walk, though with a lot of pain. I had to sit for a couple hours in the waiting room before being taken back to a room. As I sat, my head began pounding, and I had to ask for some pain medication. My knees are throbbing as I sit in a wheelchair, and I asked for an ice pack. I received both, and to just touch the ice gently to my knee was excruciating. I'm sent back for a head CT due to the impact of my face and x-rays for both of my knees. Thankfully, all my scans come back clear, and I just need all these cuts and bruises to heal. The whole time I'm at the hospital, my mom is with them, and they keep asking if I'm okay. I chat with them briefly on the phone to help calm their nerves while also helping calm mine. But once home is where it really begins. The nightmares. The emotional toll really doesn't hit me until the next morning. My youngest looks like she's seen a ghost and starts acting out. Her being fixated on something so much, she's in full tantrum and hysterics if she doesn't get her way. When I finally get her calmed down and figured out it has nothing to do with what she's fixated on, she tells me I don't want it to happen again. Being a Christian woman and a homeschooling mom, I've taught my children that God says there's only one race, the human race. I had to be mom and talk about how we know there are bad people in the world, and some of those bad people want to hurt us. That's why we stay close to mommy when out. But there are also more good people within the world, like those that helped us that night. And while I can't say it'll never happen, we have to always choose to see the good in people because that's what God wants. While I'm currently scared to be alone, loud noises scare me. Someone coming up from behind me just to check on me makes me jump. I can't let this man control my life. I've sought guidance from a counselor to help me process the events. While my face is finally healed, the knot on my bruised shoulder still remains, which after returning to the doctor for a checkup shows the knot is actually a hematoma that's formed. My thigh and left knee bruising are fading, and while my right knee remains the worst from the impact, my hands still bear cuts, and I'm reminded every day of the horrific trauma we experienced while just minding our business. I'm a strong woman and will overcome this. I have to for my girls, but I choose to be a survivor. I can't imagine letting someone out into our world who would go around and assault another human being. I feel safer knowing he's locked up and hopefully remains there for a long time. Whatever his claim for his reasoning is no excuse for the torment and random act of violence he carried out.
Mr. Fletcher, you got to hear live and in person what this incident affected on this woman and her family. I did make a referral on the day of your plea, January 2nd, to our local Pivotal. Have you been in contact with Lauren and working with the people at Pivotal here in St. Joseph County?
I've talked to her, but we didn't really talk.
All right, apparently didn't see much. In my notes, I said we need a police report, victim input, and input from the Cass County Department of Corrections. We got the first two. We don't know what Cass County has in mind. Mr. Fletcher, this is your opportunity to say anything you want me to know. Anything you want to say?
I apologize. I know apologies, sometimes aren't accepted. I just want to let you know I'm still sorry.
Well, that's a start.
I don't know exactly what happened there because of my mental health issues.
At the first opportunity with a lawyer, you did accept responsibility for it. The charge is aggravated assault. Assault comes in different varieties, from assault and battery up to first-degree murder. Aggravated assault is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. that charge closely fits these facts. It's an injury that requires medical treatment, but it did not involve a weapon and did not involve intent to commit great bodily harm. So the charge fits what I understand the facts to be. And there's a dilemma here. I think I canceled the defendant's bond at the time of his plea. He's been in jail now for 38 days. He's on probation on a felony charge in Cass County. They gave him 365 days in the county jail, which is the most you can do on a felony charge. Anything over 365 days requires a prison sentence. They also then put him on probation. And apparently he was going to go finish out his probation for a term at the Twin County Community Probation Center in Three Rivers. The Twin Counties are Cass and St. Joe County. Started that program jointly almost 50 years ago. We now take inmates and defendants from a number of counties, but it's a Cass, St. Joseph County thing. I don't know what happened. The ball got dropped. The defendant got released from the jail, which never should have happened. And now we're seeing the consequence to this lady and her family. It's a strange kind of offense. There's a mental health component to it, to be sure. I don't think no insanity or diminished capacity defense has been raised. The defendant simply accepted responsibility. So all that Cass County has left is either, as Ms. Davis says, to kick him off probation or to institute a prison sentence. Hopefully, if someone commits a felony, aggravated assault while they're on a felony probation, that should be basis for a probation violation. But nobody ever asked. My fear is if I grant 365 days, they may just call it good and discharge him from probation. At that point, there'd be no additional supervision, but we don't know. If I gave him time served, they would be compelled to do something. I would rather he was on some sort of continued supervision in Cass County, but we don't know the answer to that. My fear, as I said, if I simply grant 365 days in jail, he'll do 300 days minus 38, and then he'll be out without any supervision. And there's no sense for me to put him on probation because I would have used up every available day of jail. So I'm going to try this. I'm going to do 100 days jail, credit 38. Leaving 62 days to serve, may be released to Cass County Department of Corrections. I'll put to Cass County on detainer. Fine is $0. I referred him for mental health services, and apparently he didn't avail himself of it much. $125 in costs, which are required 2 additional days, and I'll reserve as Ms. Davis requested on restitution. Mr. Fletcher, have you heard anything from your probation agent since you've been arrested? This gives them 62 days to do something. As I said, even in the world we're in, I hope an offense like this would warrant a probation violation. And what you point out is the randomness of the world we live in. You live in a community that we like and we consider it to be safe. Yoder's might be our favorite place anywhere. If we think of a safe place, that would be it. You're in there on a Thursday with your kids, nothing unusual. Mistakes were made and a lightning bolt strikes and you get shoved through a plate glass cabinet. I've been there. I know exactly where this took place. I guess we're all subject to the vagaries of randomness. You didn't deserve this. And I hope you can get some healing from this. he wasn't mad at you. This was not focused on you. You were in the wrong place at the wrong time. And the only way we can avoid that is to never go anywhere or never do anything. You're going to continue to live your life and do things with your kids and have a family. You can't never go anywhere or never do anything. Mr. Fletcher, you need some significant mental health intervention. I tried to start some, but you weren't interested. The probation center, if they hadn't accidentally let you out of jail, might have been a good start for some of that. At any rate, that's my sentence. 100 days, credit 38, leaving 62 days, $125 in fines and costs, or 2 additional days. And you may be released to Cass County on their detainer if they so elect. All right, sir, you can go with the court officer.
Thank you.